The Fed rate was cut 50 basis points. What does this mean for the housing market? Is it gonna explode the housing market? Are we gonna overheat? Is there gonna be problems? Does this mean that we're gonna be selling lots of houses? Are prices gonna increase? There's so many things to think about, and I've been spending a little bit of time thinking about them all. So here's my initial prediction, right? So we kind of expected the Fed to cut their rate. Most were thinking it was gonna be a quarter point, but they actually went half a point, right? So half a basis point cut is on the aggressive side. And what does that mean, right? The Fed usually cuts rates when things aren't really good, right? When it's like, the economy needs to be stimulated. And I think this had a lot to do with the unemployment, right? I think unemployment's been ticking up. And so they should have cut the rate back in July and they didn't do it. And so I believe because unemployment's continuing to tick up, they made the more aggressive cut. But if you're thinking about mortgage rates, all right, because we've seen mortgage applications like spike. We saw refi applications spike, and there's a lot of pent-up demand there. You might be thinking, well, hey, are rates gonna like plummet? What we gotta really realize is that the lenders had already baked in that quarter point cut. They had already baked it into mortgages. And so we've seen, and I think it was September 12th, the 30-year rate was at 6.2. I think because we got an extra quarter basis point, will probably be into the high fives, and that's definitely going to bring buyers to the table. I think it's going to bring a lot of refi action to the table, so I think the mortgage industry is going to be really happy about this. I think housing is going to get a boost. I feel like if we see unemployment continue to tick up, then we might get an additional rate cut the next time the Fed meets, and that could also be good for housing. Now, the only thing here that I'm thinking about that could be a risk is if we start to see housing prices surge, right? We see low inventory, all these buyers rush to the market, and then all of a sudden everything's pending, and it was just like 2022 in the springtime when you could literally just throw a house on the market and it would sell $100,000 over list. I don't think we're gonna get there. But man, oh man, oh man, I don't want that to happen again. We saw the results of that, right? When the prices start to escalate and the market just overheats, that's when the Fed does janky stuff. And that's what I think would mean the Fed would cut the rate again, and that would just be a start, stop, which I don't think is healthy for the economy. I don't think that's healthy for the housing sector. So we want a measured, tempered increase in activity. We want prices and everything to be stable. We want a balanced market. And I think we're heading towards that. We're in a strong economy, right? We've had a pretty balanced housing market up to now. I think it's going to continue to remain balanced, maybe on the side of the sellers. So we'll see some price escalation, but not to the point that we saw in 2022. Overall, guys, I think this is good news for us in real estate. I do believe that this is going to be really good for wholesalers, because I can tell you, as soon as this announcement happened, Key Glee's pending rates spiked. We sold like 12 houses in a single day, which is like, wow, pretty great. So wholesalers, great news for us. People looking and waiting to buy a house, great news for you. You're going to get probably a little bit of a better deal on your mortgage in some time, because again, remember, they had already baked in the anticipated quarter point cut. What we will see also is in some time, investments will start flowing out of the bond markets. It'll start flowing out of the stock market, and it'll start flowing into housing as well. So investors are going to start coming back to the table in housing, and we'll have to wait and see what that effect will be on the housing market. Yeah, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. Did I meet your expectations on what you thought I was going to say here? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? All of your considerations are valid, and I want to hear your opinions, so please leave them below in the comment section. Also, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and kiss your mom.